Okay, so that was f***ing awesome. I said I'd cover every single game that takes place during the 2025 Four Nations Face-Off tournament, and I intend to stay true to that promise, but man, I don't want to. Nothing against the Finland-Sweden game, but how do you expect me to make that game sound as entertaining as the one that came after it between the USA and Canada? I'm gonna speed through it because not much stood out to me, to be honest. First of all, Finnish goaltender Jussi Saros was replaced by Kevin Lank the Tank Lankinen, which is awesome for Canucks fans. More on him in a second. Mika Zibanejad opened the scoring just under 10 minutes into the game to make it 1-0 for Sweden, but then just over 2 minutes later,
Anton Lundell
scored for Finland to tie it at 1s. Then Victor Hedman got called for tripping and Mikko Rantanen scored on the ensuing power play to make it 2-1 for Finland. Then at the start of the second period, Filip Gustafsson was out of the net and replaced by Linus Ullmark for Team Sweden, and I don't really understand that move because I don't think Gustafsson was playing bad, but what do I know? Sweden came out swinging in the second period. They looked good and then they eventually scored. It was Rasmus Dahlin to tie the game 2-2. And then just 5 minutes later, Erik Karlsson scored to put them up 3-2. But then, just 6 minutes after that, Kaapo Kakko, who was making his first appearance in this tournament, scored to tie the game at 3s. I'm trying to speed through this, as you can tell. The two nations traded chances in the third period, but nobody scored, and we were headed to another 3-on-3 overtime. And this is the best part for Canucks fans. After two huge saves by Kevin Lank the Tank Spankin' Finland was able to win the game in overtime thanks to this absolute snipe from Mikael Granlund. 4-3 Finland in overtime. And Granlund was the player of the game. Now, on to the game we all want to talk about. Team USA versus Team Canada. What the absolute shit did we just witness? What on earth was that? The puck dropped, a fight broke out, another puck dropped, another fight broke out, another puck dropped, another fight broke out. It was insane. Yes, the Montreal crowd booed the US anthem again, and we're not gonna get into if that's okay or if that's not okay, but it happened, and the US players were not cool with it. They came out and started swinging, and in my opinion, they only won one of these three fights. And the funniest part was JT Miller punched himself in the face. So that's kind of cool. But all those fights did was rile the Canadian crowd up. Everybody was on their feet, including me in my living room. I was throwing shit at my TV. I was so amped up. And then Connor McDavid, feeding off of that energy, scored one of the nicest goals I've ever seen. Look at this! How do you do that? Now, as a Canucks fan, cheering for McDavid is a very strange feeling. In fact, cheering for McDavid while cheering against JT Miller and making fun of him for punching himself in the face is something I don't even understand how I have the capability of doing that. I know Miller isn't on the Canucks anymore, obviously, but that news is so brand new to me. I'm still processing all of it. How did we get here? What's going on? Why is my TV broken? 1-0 Canada. Oh, and take a look at which US defender McDavid beat on that goal. Charlie McAvoy. And he wasn't happy about it. In fact, he was pissed. So he took that anger out on the ice in the form of hitting McDavid so hard I could feel it. Twice! McAvoy even went after Sidney Crosby, which in my opinion, I know this might be controversial, is way more offensive than anything the US has said about Canada the past 2 months. Kind of. And obviously, Crosby was pissed, so he crumpled somebody. Guys, this was one of the highest viewed broadcasts in NHL history. So you know there were tons of new eyes watching this game. And if you're one of those new eyes, or two of those new eyes watching this video right now, let me just ask you, how did you not know about hockey? It's the best sport in the world. Where were you? What were you watching before? Jake Guentzel scored to tie the game 1-1. Cirelli hit Tkachuk, Binnington made a save, Morrissey hit Tkachuk, Doughty hit Hughes, Tkachuk hit Doughty, and then with 3 minutes left in the first period, Guentzel got called for tripping, giving the Canadians a power play, and they couldn't score, but they did make the US defenders look kinda dumb. But then in the second period, things calmed down a bit. Just kidding! Bennett hit Nelson, and then he almost scored. Binnington made a nice save on Brady Tkachuk, and then he made this beautiful save. Austin Matthews made a great defensive play to stop a chance for the Canadians. McDavid sat on Noah Hanifin for some reason. And then Dylan Larkin scored to make it 2-1 for the Americans at the end of the second period. I don't like that, actually. As a Canadian, I didn't like that part of the game. Didn't love it, didn't like it. Bennett crushed Jacob Slavin. McDavid got a chance. Binnington made a save. Binnington made another save, and then another save. Matthew Tkachuk looked like he may have been injured. JT Miller punched himself in the face. I know that was in the first period. I just want to show you that again because I think it's really funny. He knocked his own helmet off. Anyway, Canada pulled their goalie to try to tie the game, and it didn't work. Jake Guentzel got his second of the game, and the US won 3-1. And Guentzel was the player of the game. Here's what the standings look like right now. Whew! Drop your score predictions for the next two games. It's Canada versus Finland and Sweden versus USA. If you guess the score right, I'll shout you out in my next video. Thanks to these wonderful knuckheads who choose to support what I do by clicking the join button and becoming channel members. Thank you for watching. Here's a clip of Matthew and Brady Tkachuk mic'd up in the penalty box right after their fights. Okay, bye.
My God, I'm good. That was mine, good? Unbelievable.
If that video made you laugh or cry or breathe, you're probably gonna like one of my other ones. So click one of these two videos right here. Just click it. Do it.